Chapter 51. Chinya finally understood why this fellow gave her something for no reason. It was actually to bribe her. With this bit of sincerity, she might consider peeling 20 kilograms of crayfish. Let's see. Chinya muttered. I will bring you out for a walk tomorrow, don't lie on the bed every day. Yi Hua said gravely. Why is this woman so disobedient? She always does whatever I say. Chinya struggled free from Yi Hua's embrace. Even her pajamas were unable to hide her curvaceous figure. Tomorrow is Monday. There are still a lot of things waiting for me to settle in the company. You are the boss. Do they still need you to handle this kind of small matter? Of course, how can they make such a decision? Chinya raised her chin and said proudly. Look at me, so young and already holding a lot of money. I am also beautiful. In any case, I have all kinds of good points. For you to have a wife like me, you should burn incense and pray to Buddha. Yi Hua stood up and said with an unquestionable tone, right now is the age of the internet, everything can be done at home, wait until you give birth before going out. Impossible. You can give it a try. Change your clothes and come out to eat, I have specially prepared some tonics for you. After speaking, Yi Hua walked out of the bedroom, not giving Chinya a chance to resist. Chinya angrily sat on the bed, picked up the pillow and threw it here and there, fantasizing that the pillow was Yi Hua. How great would that be? However, looking at the ring on her ring finger, she was a bit happy in her heart. So beautiful. Yi Hua took out the iced prehistoric beast meat and cut it into 3 very evenly. Obsessive-compulsive patients were like this. He tore open a bag of spicy gluten and placed a few spicy gluten to decorate the food. Looking at the bright red meat and spicy gluten, Yi Hua was very satisfied with his work. Soon after, he took out a champagne glass, filled it with boiling water, then used that drop of blood and dripped it into the glass. The white boiling water instantly turned into a golden color, and even became very thick. It was not a liquid, but the taste was great. Then, Yi Hua made the feathers of the golden crane and star sparrow into a fan and used the dragon bone as the frame of the fan. Then, he sealed the fan so that the entire city would not be blown away. Needless to say, these 2 fans were indeed beautiful. The golden crane's feathers were orange, and there were even complicated patterns on its feathers, making it look very mysterious, while the star sparrow's feathers were snow white, without any impurities, making it look very noble and elegant, just like his woman. Everyone, come down and eat. Yi Hua placed the food on the table and said like a waiter. After quite a while, the 2 sisters walked down from the stairs. Yi Hua wrinkled his brows. These 2 women really don't care about their image at all. Luckily, there is no one else around. They are still wearing their pajamas even though they are eating. Brother-in-law, where's your dragon meat? Qin Yutong ran over and asked jokingly. In Yi Hua's eyes, his sister-in-law was just like a child that had not grown up yet, and needed time to baptize her. For the time being, he would not touch her, unless she was able to meet his requirements. In actuality, what Yi Hua said was a kind of human feeling. This feeling isn't right, no matter how I look at it, it doesn't feel good. Just like the first time I saw Chinya, I was immediately captivated by Chinya's noble temperament. That's why the first impression is very important, and Qin Yutong was also able to act out the noble temperament of a big sister, but because her first impression was ruined. This caused her to still be a child. Have a seat. Yi Hua said faintly. Like a sovereign king, he sat down first, while the 2 sisters sat down like concubines. Just that, right now, their complexion wasn't very good. You want me to eat raw meat? Don't you know there are bacteria in it? Chinya wrinkled her eyebrows and said unhappily. I thought that Yi Hua would be concerned about me, but in the end, it was still the same. This time, Qin Yutong also helped her big sister and said, Brother-in-law, big sister is pregnant right now. How can you let big sister eat raw meat? This meat is even red. 2 ignorant women, how many people want to eat raw meat but are unable to eat it, and the 2 of you actually dislike it? Qin Yutong could be heard continuing, "Brother-in-law, do you have to be so elegant even when eating spicy gluten?" Suddenly, Qin Yutong suddenly shrieked, "Big sister! What are you wearing on your hand?" Qinya rolled her eyes at her little sister. "Aren't you asking the obvious?" Qin Yutong immediately held onto her big sister's hand. "Such a beautiful ring. I didn't see you wearing it this morning. Could it be that it was given by brother-in-law?" "Brother-in-law! How can you be like this? Isn't there a share for me?" Qin Yutong liked this kind of ring too much. She felt that this ring was even more amazing than ordinary diamonds. Qinya's head was about to explode. Can this ring be casually given away? Giving it to me is a matter of course, but what would it look like if it was given to my little sister? Qin Yutong puffed up her cheeks and stretched out her hands in front of Yi Hua. "In any case, I want it. I have no choice but to give it to Yi Hua." Qinya, who was at the side, shook her head. "My little sister is still the same as before. Whenever I have something good, she would snatch it away, and if I don't give it to her, she would act shamelessly. I remember that when I was young, she was still rolling on the ground, and it was all for a doll." Yi Hua took out the fans that he had finished making and placed the orange one on Qin Yutong's hands. The latter was stupefied. "I didn't expect that there would really be a gift for me. The beauty of this fan is not the slightest bit inferior to the ring. Holding it in my hands is super elegant." With a light fan, I immediately felt relaxed and happy. Qin Yutong was about to die from happiness. And when Qin Yutong's system saw the fan, its jaws almost dropped off. There is no item in the system shop that can compare to this fan, and the attributes of the ring on my master's big sister's hand are even filled with question marks. This man is indeed very strong. It is indeed not wrong for me to let my master hug onto my master's thigh, just that, with master's temper, I'm afraid that it will be hard for me to do it in a short period of time. Qin Yutong could be seen suddenly standing up, then kissed onto Yi Hua's cheek. "Thank you, brother-in-law, just that, right now." Qinya was about to spit out fire. "Why does my little sister have it, but I don't? Also, this Yutong, she actually kissed your brother-in-law right in front of me. Do you think that I am transparent?" Seeing that her big sister's mood was a bit unstable, Qin Yutong knew that she was too excited just now and said embarrassedly to her big sister, "Big sister, don't misunderstand, this is a very pure kiss. It is a gift from sister-in-law to thank brother-in-law." Just as Qinya was about to start scolding her big sister, a spotlessly white fan appeared in front of her. Swoosh! When the fan opened up, Qinya seemed to be able to see specks of stars floating out. How can a fan be so beautiful? Qinya took the fan blankly, and a gentle smile appeared on her face. The displeasure that she had just now immediately disappeared. Seems like Yi Hua also learned how to coax women. This was not Yi Hua intentionally coaxing women, he just wanted to give them a bit of benefit. I finally understand the difference between a wife and sister-in-law. Brother-in-law, you are simply too biased. Qin Yutong was very jealous. Big sister's white fan is even more beautiful. The system was currently collapsing. Qinya kept the fan happily, then took a glare at her little sister. "Eat your food." "Humph!" Qin Yutong snorted and took a sip of the champagne. At least in Qin Yutong's eyes, this was champagne. However, Qin Yutong opened her beautiful eyes wide. "What is this thing? Why does it taste so good?" Although it was just a small sip, that unique fragrance swirled in my mouth, and soon after, it entered my brain, igniting my excited nerves. This is 2F** King delicious. Chapter 52. Looking at the empty wine cup, Qin Yutong was filled with hatred. Just now, I shouldn't have finished the wine cup in one gulp and should have slowly tasted it. Qin Yutong's gaze immediately moved to the other two cups. Yi Hua and Qinya picked up the wine cup at the same time, causing Qin Yutong to stomp her feet in anger. These two stingy fellows. Qinya finally knew why her little sister would reveal such an expression. This wine is really delicious, so delicious that it could explode. I feel that my taste buds have been opened up. I have never drunk such a delicious drink before. Qinya, it's fine to drink this. Yihua said faintly, then picked up the knife and fork and began to enjoy the fresh meat of the ancient beast. Qinya lightly then sipped on the meat bit by bit, causing Qin Yutong's saliva to flow out. Brother-in-law, I want more, Qin Yutong shouted out sweetly, continuously twisting her body like a child acting coquettishly. Yihua unhurriedly ate a piece of meat, and he felt that the taste was still the same. There wasn't much change. You can only drink 1 cup a week. What, brother-in-law, you are just stingy. Humph, that's right. Qinya followed along and agreed. Seems like I also want to drink it every day. Can you guys drink the blood of the ancient beast every day? Aren't you afraid of it exploding? Qin Yutong looked at the fresh red meat on the plate and made up her mind. Isn't it just red meat? I have even eaten red steaks before. Yihua chose one of the 3 pieces of meat, then cut a small piece and stuffed it into his mouth with his eyes narrowed. 1 seconds later. Qin Yutong opened her eyes wide once again. What kind of meat is this? It actually melted in my mouth. This is the meat of the cleansing star sparrow. It has the miraculous effect of melting in one's mouth, and it can even strengthen one's body. How many overlords want to have a taste of this meat, but the cleansing star sparrow's strength is too strong, and they are unable to catch up. Looking at brother-in-law's calm face, Qin Yutong finally understood why the system pushed me to brother-in-law. This is the hidden super big boss. Big sister, quickly eat the meat, it is super delicious. Qinya seemed to still be worried. Qinya, I won't joke around with children. Yihua said gravely, this woman actually doesn't trust me this much. Qinya let out a heavy breath. Due to the fact that Yihua had done a lot of unreasonable things before, I am worried about him. She elegantly cut a piece of tender meat and placed it in her mouth. Her furrowed brows gradually relaxed. Although this meat didn't have the taste of salt, it was exceptionally sweet and delicious. It even had a strange fragrance to it, and it didn't have the pungent smell of cattle or sheep. This was a piece of golden crane meat. Yihua was very gratified. Right now, Qinya knows that she is already tidying up, and doesn't need me to remind her. As her big sister, didn't you just become a bad child? Yihua, just whose side are you standing on? Yihua smiled slightly, and the latter immediately became unwilling. What are you smiling for? Speak clearly. Boss, lady boss. At this time, Wei Chang suddenly appeared at the door, and behind him was Tang Wei. Qinya let out a sigh of relief and did not find trouble with Yihua anymore. A smart woman would not be fierce towards a man in front of an outsider. Yihua nodded his head, then walked up and hugged onto Qinya. Uncle Wei, I want to take a leave of absence tonight. Tang Wei said a bit embarrassedly. She had forgotten about the matter of treating Qi Shuwen to a meal. Wei Chang nodded his head and did not ask for the reason. Tang Wei thought that Wei Chang was angry and hurriedly explained, Uncle Wei, classmate Qi helped me today, so I have to treat him to a meal. It will only take 2 hours, after that, I will come over again. Wei Chang placed down the surrounding stools. It's fine, just have fun with your classmate. You have worked hard on cooking today. Tang Wei's heart sunk. What does Uncle Wei mean by this? He was clearly still fine just a moment ago. Why did his face suddenly change? Could it be that I want to treat other people to a meal? That must be the case. Tang Wei could be seen using her new phone to send a message to Qi Shuwen. I might as well just treat him to a meal tomorrow afternoon. After sending the message, Tang Wei helped Wei Chang place the stools. What's wrong? Wei Chang asked curiously. Nothing much, I feel that work is more important, so I will leave it till tomorrow. Wei Chang patted onto Tang Wei's shoulder. Xiao Tang, since that person helped you, and you also promised to help him, then you should fulfill your promise. Uncle Wei, hurry up and go. I didn't expect that. I underestimated Uncle Wei. Uncle Wei is really different from ordinary men. Uncle Wei, I will be leaving first then, I will be back in 2 hours. Without waiting for Wei Chong to reply, Tang Wei ran out of leisure bar. Wei Chong shook his head helplessly. The thinking of humans is really hard to fathom. Chapter 53. At night, Leisure Bar's business was still cold and cheerless. There were only a few people here and there, which made Yihua very unhappy. However, the main culprit was sitting on the bed and gracefully fanning the star-cleansing fan in her hands. Looking at Qingya's expression, Yihua felt hot. Qingya, who was currently watching a drama, noticed Yihua's gaze and immediately hugged onto the quilt, giving Yihua a cold gaze, seemingly saying that if you dare to come over, I will fight you to the death. Letting out a breath, Yihua said faintly, "Go out and smoke a cigarette." After Yihua left, Qingya pouted her mouth. "What do you mean by not touching a woman a second time? Will you die if you don't brag?" Coming to the office, Yihua was a bit vexed. "I am a supreme overlord, the words that I say are like water that is poured out, but today, I have this feeling twice in a row. How is this possible?" Lighting up a cigarette and turning on the television, "Right now, only happiness can calm the heat in my heart." Suddenly, the office door was pushed open. Oh, brother-in-law, Qing Yutong could be seen wearing a golden cheongsam. She who had a tall and slender figure was indeed able to carry the cheongsam, appearing noble and gorgeous. Coupled with the golden fan in her hand, slightly moving her face, revealing a pair of enchanting beautiful eyes, she was simply able to kill everyone. Qing Yutong looked at the stupefied brother-in-law and secretly rejoiced in her heart. "Look! When I make a move, even Xuanzang would have to kneel down and lick my boots. Are you sick? Dressing like this in the middle of the night?" Yihua's mood was already very bad, and when his sister-in-law suddenly appeared wearing a dazzling golden outfit, Yihua was simply shocked. "Master, I already said that this set of clothes of yours is not good, right? You didn't believe me." Qing Yutong was immediately stupefied. "What's not good about me? Long legs, perky butt, slim waist, big chest, extremely beautiful face. Brother-in-law actually said that I am sick. I am injured. I am injured. I will never be able to recover in this lifetime." Looking at the dazed Qing Yutong leave, Yihua lit up another cigarette. The office was really filled with smoke, because these two women were both very worrisome. Qing Yutong, who returned to her bedroom, groaned non-stop, and also felt wronged. I, the Grand Movie Empress, went to seduce brother-in-law, and was actually scolded as sick. This face of mine is completely thrown into the gutter. "Master, you can't do this directly, your brother-in-law is a man with principles." There is actually someone who is praising Yihua for having principles. In that case, I have to properly redefine the word principles. Qing Yutong took off her golden battle gown, wore a pair of shorts and a cartoon short-sleeved shirt, then sat in front of the computer. If one were to look carefully, Qing Yutong's eyes were a bit red. Seems like she was truly hurt, and her pride was hurt. "Master, your brother-in-law is here." Dong, dong, dong. Sure enough, someone knocked on the door. Qing Yutong shook her lower lip, then walked over to open the door. After that, she directly threw herself onto the bed, then used the quilt to cover her head, and put on a posture of not wanting to see anyone. Yihua shook his head. This sister-in-law of mine is really one thing after another. In actuality, Yihua wanted to apologize to his sister-in-law. However, after thinking about it, I am a supreme overlord. If this matter of me apologizing to my sister-in-law were to spread out, where would my face be? Are you used to living here? Yihua asked lightly. Whoa whoa. Qing Yutong covered the quilt and let out a pitiful cry. Qing Yutong is using a move of retreating in order to advance. Brother-in-law definitely came over because he felt guilty in his heart, and I threw myself onto the bed, and my perky butt is facing towards brother-in-law. If I didn't guess wrongly, brother-in-law is definitely staring at my butt, and after looking for a while, he won't be able to endure it anymore. At that time if you are not used to living here, you can go home. Yihua said indifferently, then walked out of the room without even turning his head back. Qing Yutong froze. Even after hearing the sound of the door closing, she still did not wake up. This was the first time that she doubted her appearance and figure. Could it be that I am old? Did my butt lose its luster and elasticity? Why is brother-in-law able to face my perky butt so calmly? Just how did big sister do it, to actually give birth to a monkey with brother-in-law? Master, after the incident just now, I created a series of walkthroughs for you. The system said helplessly. Qing Yutong clenched her small fists tightly. In this world, which brother-in-law doesn't have any thoughts towards his sister-in-law, let alone such a beautiful sister-in-law. Xiao Guai, give me this brother-in-law's walkthroughs. No problem. First of all, your brother-in-law has to be infatuated with you. The first mission, make brother-in-law be willing to touch your thighs once. Xiao Guai could be said to have spared no effort to find a walkthrough, but if she were to complete all of the missions, brother-in-law would fall apart on his own. Xiao Guai, I didn't expect that your heart is so evil. Qing Yutong said with a face full of disdain. Master, don't think that it is just a small mission. As long as brother-in-law is willing to help, you have already won half of the mission. Qing Yutong thought for a bit, and it really does seem like that. Just that, how can I lure brother-in-law to touch my thighs? This is the problem. From today onwards, I am going to wear miniskirts and miniskirts. Master, you are wrong again. I suggest that you learn from your big sister. I don't want to learn from her, always putting on a stern face. She has always been like that since young. Qing Yutong pouted her small mouth and said. In actuality, Qing Yutong was just not used to seeing big sister's high and mighty attitude, but after coming back this time, she discovered that big sister had changed. The system knew its master's personality and did not force her. Master, it will be fine as long as you insist on being yourself. How do you think my big sister pushed down brother-in-law? Did she drug him? Xiao Guai, is there any drug that is a bit more powerful in the system shop? Forget it, just take it that I didn't say anything. What are you talking about? We are grasshoppers on the same boat. You better overdraft me a bit. If not, how are the two of us going to act cool? How are we going to fly? Master, can you have a bit of moral integrity? Even if you want to hug someone's thigh, you shouldn't do it like this. I might as well just sleep together with big sister and brother-in-law. Qing Yutong thought and rushed out of the bedroom. Not long later, Qing Yutong's miserable shriek and Qing Ya's scolding could be heard from the bedroom. Qing Yutong, who had a gray face and hair, suddenly closed the door. Damn, big sister's temper is getting bigger and bigger. Even when we were young, I didn't see her having such a big reaction when we slept together. Master, can you have a bit of face? F***K, it is already shameless for you to come out with this kind of mission, and you are still asking me to have face. I think that your skin is itching, you are asking for a beating. In the bedroom. Yihua leaned on the bed and said with a slight smile, our bed is big enough, it is fine to let Yutong come over and sleep. Alright, you go and call her then. Qing Ya said coldly, giving off the feeling of a fierce wife. Yihua did not say anything. Qing Ya, who is jealous, is still rather cute. Tonight, you can lean over, but don't drool. Who wants to lean on you? Qing Ya rolled up the blanket and leaned on the side. Yihua did not say anything and turned off the light. Tick-tock, tick-tock, tick-tock. The clock on the wall rang very regularly, and Qing Ya finally couldn't take it anymore. She turned around and hugged onto Yihua. Don't misunderstand, I am just used to hugging onto things when I sleep. If not, I won't be able to fall asleep. You are saying that I am a thing. Yihua said gravely. Chapter 54. On Monday, Longtan City was shrouded by dark clouds, and soon after, it started drizzling. Yihua opened his eyes, subconsciously touched onto his chest and let out a sigh of relief. Turning his head around, he looked at Qingye, who was sleeping soundly at the side, and the corner of his mouth hooked up into an arc. Stretching out his hand, he stroked onto Qingye's smooth hair. Sob, sob, sob. Seeing that Qingye was about to wake up, Yihua immediately retracted his hand. What time is it? Qingye asked faintly. 6:00. I'll buy breakfast for you. Yihua's heart trembled, then said slowly, Don't go, it's raining outside. And then I will sleep for a while more, wake me up at 7 a.m. After finished speaking, Qingye gradually fell asleep again. All right. Yihua was unable to fall asleep again. If I didn't hear wrongly just now, she said that she was going to buy breakfast. Yihua suddenly smiled, and this time, the arc of his smile was especially big. Is this the kind of mutual concern that humans have? Was this the so-called husband and wife? I remember that a very long time ago, I had also killed a few couples. Even now, I still remember that at that time, that human woman died, and that man became especially crazy. Although it was all futile, I am very curious as to why he was so sad. However, right now, I finally understand. If someone were to take this woman's life, then Yihua, what time is it? Qingye, who was in a daze, asked indistinctly. If Yihua was to choose, he hoped that Qingye would forever remain in this half-asleep, half-awake state. Right now, she was just like a little kitten, just that, after she woke up, she would become an unfeeling cat that would always go against others. Yihua took a look at the clock. It will be 7:00 in 10 minutes. Qingye opened her beautiful eyes, and the soft expression that she had just now completely disappeared. Sitting up, Qingye stretched her waist, while Yihua, who was leaning on the head of the bed, looked at this enchanting back view. I have killed countless people, and I didn't expect that I would actually be able to have a human lying beside me right now. Qingye paused for a bit, seemingly preparing to have an argument with Yihua in the morning. After waiting for a minute, Yihua still didn't say anything, causing Qingye to be extremely puzzled. Could it be that this fellow is using some new tactic today? Wearing the SpongeBob SquarePants version slippers, Qingye decided to not move in the dark. I will go and wash up first, then go to work. If he doesn't allow me, I will. I will. I will. I will. I will cry. I will make a scene. I will make a scene. I will cry. I will make a scene. Ah! Right after walking into the bathroom, Qingye let out a shriek, as if she had seen Yihua's real body. Yihua thought that Qingye had fallen, and without caring about anything else, his figure immediately appeared in the washroom. Not bad, just stand in front of brother-in-law with this face. I don't believe that brother-in-law will be able to endure it. A strong self-confidence swelled up in Qin Yutong's heart. I am not bragging, just by crooking my finger, brother-in-law will be able to push me down. The system also had a stupefied look on its face. Master. Little darling, you don't have to say any more. Although you are a bit stingy normally, during crucial times, you are still rather reliable. Qin Yutong lightly flipped her hair, then bit onto her lower lip. My God, I really wish that I could *ck myself. Why do I have to look like this? This action of biting onto my lower lip is really unbearable for me. I have to go and show off in front of big sister. After finished speaking, Qin Yutong ran out and barged into Yihua's bedroom without even knocking on the door. Originally, I thought that there would be some explosive scene, but in the end, the bedroom was empty. What did the two of them do so early in the morning? When she came downstairs, she still did not see anyone. Qin Yutong, who was bored, straightforwardly sat on the bar counter and laughed foolishly. Yesterday, brother-in-law actually treated me like that. Today, he will definitely regret it to death. Not long later, the target appeared. Qin Yutong excitedly ran in front of Yihua, who was currently eating a fruit jianbing. Brother-in-law, look at my face. Do you feel that it is different? Yihua wrinkled his brows. This should be the effect of the golden crane meat. I didn't expect that the effect would be quite good. The overall effect of sister-in-law has become perfect, just that, the current sister-in-law is still not proper. It is indeed different, there is more eye wax. Yihua said calmly, then walked past Qin Yutong, who was absent-minded, and walked up the stairs. Auditory hallucination. Just now, I definitely had an auditory hallucination. Not mentioning other things, just based on this face of mine, I can even kill a child, and brother-in-law actually said that I have eye wax. How is this possible? Master, there is indeed a small piece of eye wax at the corner of your eyes. Ah. Why didn't you say so earlier? Qin Yutong felt that she followed the wrong teammate. Don't you even know how to remind me? Chapter 55. No. Brother-in-law must be playing hard to get. I'm sorry. After all, I'm his sister-in-law. It's inevitable that I'm a little shy. Brother-in-law, with a smile on her face, Qin Yutong pushed open the office door, and saw that her brother-in-law was currently smoking beside the window. Yihua didn't turn his head around and just responded. Where's sis? I went to work. Oh, Qin Yutong stood on the tip of her toes and tried to figure out her brother-in-law's thoughts. Right now, I am unable to attack, and I have to retreat in order to advance. Brother-in-law, I'll go back to my room first. Qin Yutong said tenderly. The moment she turned around, she was shouting in her heart, quickly shout, I know that it is very hard for you to endure, don't be reserved. 1 minute later, Yihua extinguished the cigarette and looked at Qin Yutong, who was frozen at the doorway. Didn't you want to return to your room? Qin Yutong was once again injured. Brother-in-law really doesn't give me any face at all. When big sister is still around, brother-in-law still hugged onto my waist, but now that big sister is not around, brother-in-law doesn't even look at me in the eye. Master, your brother-in-law is not an ordinary man. That's right, ordinary men would have long pounced on me. Qin Yutong helplessly returned to her room. She had to properly organize her thoughts. Longtan City's Qingqing International Building used to be the headquarters, but for the sake of development, the headquarters had already been moved to Gaohai City. After all, Gaohai City was a first-rate commercial city. After parking the car at the company's parking lot, Qingya picked up her handbag and opened the car door. At this moment, she once again transformed into the cold and arrogant female CEO, and at this time, it was also the peak hour of work. There were quite a lot of employees who were working at the parking lot, and all of them were looking at this mysterious woman. Oh my God, when did such a beautiful woman come to our company? Could it be the new director? That's impossible. I heard that the position of director has already been decided internally. I really want to hug her thighs and lick her. She's in the elevator. I have to charge, bro, instantly. Many champions of the 100-meter dash appeared in the parking lot. Brother, why are you running? I don't know. I saw them running, so I ran too. Qingyo was as cold as frost as she swept her gaze across the employees inside the elevator. Could it be that they don't even recognize me, the CEO? Wouldn't that be? Qingya's change in the past few days was very big, especially today. If it wasn't for the fact that Yihua often met Qingya, Yihua wouldn't dare to be sure. The current Qingya couldn't be described with words. It smells so good. How can this fragrance be so special? It must be the fragrance of the woman behind me. After so many years of fighting, this should be the fragrance of her body. Is there such a body fragrance? The one in my family also has a body fragrance, and every time she smells me half to death. Hearing these teasing words, Qingya's expression became even colder. Just how does this Lu Heng manage his employees? His employees are just like this. This time, Qingya misunderstood. With your looks, would men be able to stand it? Wasn't it just to satisfy his craving for words? When he passed through the lobby, the elevator opened. Director Liu. Director Liu. Director Liu. All the employees were taken aback. They shouted at the man standing at the elevator door respectfully. Liu Heng was already used to it. Just as he was preparing to enter the elevator, his gaze focused and he hurriedly shouted, CEO Qing. CEO Qing. All the male employees in the elevator were stunned. Who was Director Liu calling Director Qing? He was even bowing with such respect. Immediately, he thought of the woman behind him. Thinking about it again, there was only one person who could make Director Liu treat her with such respect, and her surname was Qing. That was the cool and elegant CEO, Qing Ya. Chairman Qing. Chairman Qing. Chairman Qing. The employees in the elevator sucked in a mouthful of cold air. Thinking back to what they said in the elevator just now, their hearts became cold. I actually took liberties with the CEO, I'm finished. Qing Ya replied calmly. Not knowing who was the one who quietly ran away, in an instant, the elevator that was full just now was empty, leaving only Qing Ya alone. Director Liu, pay attention to the problem of the employee's quality. Qing Ya reminded coldly. Liu Heng did not dare to say much and hurriedly nodded his head. He carefully walked into the elevator and pressed the button for the top floor. The moment when the elevator door closed, the entire lobby went into an uproar. What happened to you all just now? What did you all run out for? A girl asked curiously. Damn it, scared me to death. I actually took liberties with CEO Qing just now. I'm finished, I can forget about getting promoted in this lifetime, I was just preparing to run for the position of team leader. What? CEO Qing came. All kinds of gossip immediately spread out in the lobby. Some said that CEO Qing came back to prepare for the marriage. After all, Long Aotian's matter had caused an uproar. Unfortunately, Long Aotian was currently still training in the mountains and it would be hard for him to come back in a short while. Standing not far away was a security guard who looked rather handsome. Hearing the surrounding discussions, he slightly frowned. This CEO Qing was the organization's final mission, presumably, this woman had a lot to do with the organization's destruction. But to be honest, this woman was very beautiful, but with her capabilities, she was still not enough to destroy the organization. Just who was it? Chapter 56. Brother-in-law, Qing Yutong threw herself into Yi Hua's embrace with a crying tone. This was not Qing Yutong pretending, she was really scared. What kind of freaking game is this? I just parachuted and picked up a small pistol, then the moment I opened the door, bang, 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 I died. There was also a gun, I happily picked up a 98K, and just when I walked up the stairs, bang, bang, bang. Qing Yutong felt that this game cannot be played, such a big map, and there are only a total of 100 people, but I keep feeling that there are 99 people staring at me. The main point was that the sudden gunshots practically scared Qing Yutong to death, because the system said to adjust the volume of the earphones to the maximum, that way, she would be able to hear the footsteps, but Qing Yutong could only hear her own screams. Although she had the system's assistance, she was still a girl after all, her state of mind was not that good, and it was very easy for her to be scared by unknown things. What happened? Seeing that his sister-in-law was so wronged, Yi Hua asked gravely, who dares to bully my sister-in-law? Qing Yutong pointed at the computer and said pitifully, they bullied me. Yi Hua went closer to the computer, it is just a game, what a fuss. Brother-in-law, help me take revenge, Qing Yutong was unwilling, brother-in-law looks very powerful, he will definitely be able to get chicken. Yi Hua sighed, the games developed by humans are too childish, what's the point of this kind of virtual fighting and killing, boring. However, his sister-in-law was bullied, as the brother-in-law, as the supreme overlord, he had to get back his face. How do we play? Yihua lit up a cigarette and asked faintly. At the start, there is no parachute, equipment is all snatched. Although Qin Yutong did not finish a few rounds, she still managed to comprehend the profoundness of the game. Yihua thought that it was something, and said faintly, "Bring me an ashtray." Okay, Qin Yutong eagerly went to prepare an ashtray, soda, spicy bar, and even stood behind Yihua and gave him a massage. It was simply a 5-star enjoyment. "Brother-in-law, click on that game and start." Yihua clicked on it unhurriedly, and very quickly, he entered the game. "Brother-in-law, you need to wear earphones to play, if not you won't be able to play well," Qin Yutong reminded. Yihua flicked the cigarette ash. "Just watch." Oh, Qin Yutong pouted her mouth. Brother-in-law is so awesome, he doesn't even need to wear earphones. Right after the image appeared, Yihua narrowed his eyes and instantly pressed the F button. "Brother-in-law, why did you press F so quickly? You have to look at the map." Qin Yutong cried out in surprise. Yihua said gravely, "Be quiet." Oh, controlling the keyboard and mouse, Yihua was finally able to land on the ground safely. "Brother-in-law, there's someone running towards you. Quickly run." Yihua did not say anything, and once again clicked into the game. It was still the same place, but this time, Yihua did not stand in the middle of the road. "Despicable humans, you all are destined to suffer the wrath of the Supreme Overlord." "Brother-in-law, gun, gun." Qinya pointed to a corner of the house. "I am not blind." Yihua used a very slow speed to pick up the M16 along with the 60 bullets. "I never thought that there would be a day where I, the Supreme Overlord, would use a gun. This is so ironic." Just when he finished searching a small bedroom, he turned around. Bang! A shotgun ended Yihua's character, and the screen turned black once again. The cigarette in Yihua's mouth burned out, and the ashes slowly fell down just like Yihua's mood. "I was actually killed by a human 3 times. A whole 3 times. This is an extraordinary shame and humiliation. If this hatred is formed, do you believe that with a snap of my fingers, all of you will die? Brother-in-law, I told you to wear your earphones, but you didn't. You are so noob, and I was actually looked down upon by my sister-in-law. Brother-in-law, don't be angry, sister-in-law will take revenge for you. I even need sister-in-law to take revenge for me. If this were to be spread out, where would I put my face? Brother-in-law, how can you be so shameless? I want to play as well." Only then did Qin Yutong experience the fun of the game, while Yihua was driven mad by this game. "Brother-in-law, how about you go and buy a high-end computer and place it here, then we will be able to play as a duo. The computer in your office definitely won't be able to play." Yihua was a person who would definitely take revenge on any grudge, other than Qinya. This game made Yihua very angry. "Help me buy it." Phone. Qin Yutong stretched out her hand. "I didn't expect that I would inadvertently create a situation where I am playing a game with brother-in-law. From now on, I won't be far from pushing brother-in-law down." Chapter 57. If Yihua's subordinates were to find out that his honor had actually injured himself because of a game, I wonder what they would think. However, Yihua's subordinates would definitely come over to persuade his honor. "Your honor, this is just a game, there is no need to be so serious about it." When Yihua became serious, even he himself would be afraid. One must know that Yihua had relied on himself to walk onto the path of a king step by step from a small undead. The hardships and deaths that he had faced on this path were something that only he himself could understand. However, he had never said that it was bitter, and he also didn't feel that it was bitter. In fact, it was even a kind of enjoyment. Before the computer arrived, Yihua was silently watching his sister-in-law play the game, and from there, he could understand the characteristics of the game, even though she would not last more than 10 minutes every time she played the game. If Qinya was a whining monster, then her sister-in-law would be a shivering monster. Every time she was mysteriously beaten to death by someone, her entire body would tremble. and her eyes would become absent-minded. Afterward, she would turn her head around and look at me pitifully. That expression of hers that was begging for consolation was simply unparalleled. This sister-in-law was indeed different. Chinya wouldn't reveal such an expression. On the other side, Chinya was currently sitting in the conference room and eating lunch boxes with the company's higher-ups. Of course, it was to speed up the conference. Looking at the entire conference room, there were only 2 middle-aged women among all the higher-ups. The rest were all men. Although it was a conference, it was also an appreciation party. Even when they were eating, they still peeked at the female CEO who was sitting at the head of the table. How could there be such a beautiful woman in the world? He had gone to the headquarters for meetings in the past. Although it was also very amazing at that time, it was not as explosive as today. No matter how delicious the food in front of him was, it could not be compared to the feeling of quietly glancing at him. Meanwhile, after Chinya ate a few mouthfuls, she couldn't eat anymore. It wasn't that it wasn't tasty, rather, she felt that it was a bit disgusting. Thinking to herself, this is the symptom of a pregnant woman, Chinya blamed Yihua in her heart. If it wasn't for him, would I be feeling so disgusted, especially today? She didn't know what he was doing now. Didn't he know how to call to show his concern? He wasn't behaving like a husband at all. Upon seeing the ring on her ring finger, Chinya's negative emotions immediately disappeared. Feeling elated, the corner of Chinya's mouth unconsciously revealed a light smile. Instantly, the sound of saliva being swallowed could be heard in the conference room. Their eyeballs were about to pop out. How old is he already, really? In the future, he should just bring the kid to watch cartoons. Pushing open the door of the office, the inside of the office was also completely empty. Where is he? Chinya silently looked towards the storeroom that was previously in the office. Right now, it had become her little sister's bedroom, and Yihua is actually in her little sister's bedroom. The rock that was originally suspended in the air once again. Chinya tightly clenched her delicate hands, stood at the side of the door, took a deep breath, then fiercely pushed open the door. A foul atmosphere could be seen inside, and 2 figures could be seen in front of Chinya's eyes. On the table at the side, there were 2 buckets of instant noodles and an empty package of spicy gluten, and the red soy sauce inside the package had all flowed onto the table. How can these 2 people be so sloppy? Brother-in-law, give me the expansion clip. Change the silencer. How can it be like this, brother-in-law? Your marksmanship is so lousy, you can't even hit the person. Change the silencer. Shh, someone is coming, quickly hide, quickly hide. Chinya didn't know whether to laugh or cry. These 2 fellows are actually playing a game. Seems like even being joyful is unable to satisfy their childish hearts. Walking in quietly, Chinya stuck her head in between the 2 and took a look curiously, only to see that the 2 of their characters were lying on the haystack. The little sister had a nervous look on her face, and Yihua looked very strange, as if he had eaten a fly. Ah! Qin Yutong originally wanted to mock her brother-in-law, but who knew that when she saw a head of black hair, she was scared witless and unconsciously pressed the left mouse button. Tap, tap, tap. Yihua said gravely, Qin Yutong, what are you shooting for? Don't you know that you will be exposed? Big sister, you are annoying. Don't make any sound when you walk. Qin Yutong's fist landed onto Chinya's arm, and she immediately controlled her own character. The other party already knew her position. Brother-in-law, cover me, I am going to fight with them. Yihua shouted gravely, fight for what? Go around to the side. Seems like after going through countless of deaths, Yihua also knew how to use tactics. Thinking back then, Yihua never used any tactics. He would just push his way through, firmly believing that all tricks were just paper tigers in front of absolute strength. Brother-in-law, I got knocked down, quickly come and help me, why are you so stupid? Yihua couldn't help but say. In this game, Forming a party relied on team spirit. If I played this game a few hundred years ago, how could I possibly be wiped out by that group of humans? Chapter 58. Qin Yutong was skillfully using the dodging formula, while Yi Hua was being led by his sister-in-law to use the dodging formula, and Yi Hua was being led by his sister-in-law to use the dodging formula. Whenever he saw someone, he would kneel down, and this almost caused Yi Hua to be angered to the point of having internal bleeding. However, if Yi Hua wanted to win, he would have to use his brain. With his current spear techniques, Yi Hua felt that he was still lacking a lot. However, as long as he was given a few days of time to properly train, would these small fries still dare to be arrogant in front of me? After throwing out a few smoke bombs, Yi Hua's vision was sealed. Yi Hua went to save his sister-in-law. If the 7 deadly sins were to see this, they would definitely question whether or not this was still his honor from before. He actually knows how to save people? The 2 people in front of him seemed to be experienced players, as they did not attack hastily. Meanwhile, Yi Hua was also pondering in his heart on how to get out of this crisis. Brother-in-law, how about I go and act cute and beg them to let us go? Qin Yutong, who was helped up, hurriedly drank a pill, and decided to sell her body. As the sister-in-law of the Supreme Sovereign, do you still need to act cute? No need. Brother-in-law, now is not the time to be impulsive. It wasn't easy for us to make it to the top 20, and we've already been dead for a day. Brother-in-law, I still need to eat chicken. At this moment, the smoke grenade dispersed. Bang! Qin Yutong died once again. Why don't you just hide behind a tree? Yi Hua had a headache. How would I know that the smoke bomb would disappear? Quickly help me up, quickly help me up. I want to eat chicken, I want to eat chicken, I don't want to die. Qin Yutong pouted her small mouth. Bang! From the looks of it, the other party wanted to kill Yi Hua cleanly, not even giving Yi Hua the chance to help Yi Hua up. Qin Yutong was angered to the point that she poked her hair, and Yi Hua's position was also exposed. Being sandwiched by the 2 of them, Yi Hua was already dead. Right now, the only thing that Yi Hua had to do was to break out of the encirclement. However, these 2 people's marksmanship was very accurate, and it would be very hard for Yi Hua to break out of the encirclement. Looking at the 2-seater motorcycle that was not far away from him, Yi Hua decided to take a gamble. He took out the grenade and threw it in their direction. Then, he ran towards the motorcycle. As expected, he was safe when the grenade exploded, because they would try to avoid it. But after the thunder, it was time to show off his skills. Da. Wow, brother-in-law, you're so flirtatious. Snakeskin. Yi Hua did not say anything and silently took a puff of the cigarette. I am no longer the newbie that I was playing just now. Although I was moving in a snake-like manner, I still got hit a few times, and my HP immediately turned red. Luckily, I got onto the motorcycle and escaped. That's true. Brother-in-law is amazing. Mwah. Before Yi Hua could finish his words, the motorcycle crashed into a tree and the screen turned black. Yi Hua lost in driving skills. The 2 people who were sandwiched were also dumbfounded. Their stomachs were hurting from laughing too hard. They had originally thought that he was a king, but they didn't expect him to be a bronze. Qin Yutong held onto her forehead, and towards her brother-in-law's driving skills, she was completely convinced. Yi Hua felt that this wouldn't do. I have to bitterly train my spear techniques, this is the hard truth. Without spear techniques, it is impossible for me to win this game. I'm back. Qin Ye reminded faintly. Meanwhile, Yi Hua responded and continued to play duo with his sister-in-law. The corner of Qin Ye's mouth slightly twitched. In order to come back home earlier, I did not rest for even a moment, and now that I am back home, you only have this kind of attitude. Humph. Qin Ye snorted and returned back to her bedroom. Meanwhile, the 2 people who were playing duo were very indifferent. there was nothing that was able to stop their passion for eating chicken. After boarding onto the plane, Qing Yutong turned on the microphone and said with her sweet voice, "Welcome, everyone, to No Chicken Dinner Flight XX-188. This flight departs from S City. Along the way, we will pass by air raid shelter, Roshawk, school, wilderness, and finally, the final destination is the military base. The plane has already taken off. Please turn off all mobile devices. Please fasten your seatbelt. Keep your small table properly. Please confirm if you have brought your parachute, and choose a suitable place to parachute. I hope that the passengers will not be able to eat chicken, turn into boxes upon landing, explode while driving, get smashed by the airdrop, die while running away from the blue circle, and for those who are still dripping with blood, asterisk and hashtag yen% and asterisk and hashtag yen. Please come to this flight again next time. Please remember XX-188, XX-188. /BR sent ID equals 33. After Qing Yutong finished speaking, there were only 2 people left in the cabin. Brother-in-law done, let's monopolize the C building. /BR script async src equals https://pagid2. Google syndication. com/pagid/js/etsbygoogle. JS. Client equals CA, pub, 60633447053353344 inch cross origin equals, anonymous, /script ins class equals @adsbygoogle, style equals, display, block, text align, center, data add layout equals, in article, data add format equals, fluid, data add client equals, CA, pub, 60633447053353344, data add slot equals, 8400950845, in script, @adsbygoogle equals window. @adsbygoogle. Push, /script, BR sent ID equals 34. However, after the 2 of them parachuted, Qing Yutong was in despair. Why is there not even a single gun in the entire military base? /BR sent ID equals 35. After taking a bath, Qing prepared to choose an evening dress. Looking at herself in the mirror, I'm so beautiful that I'm stupefied. /BR sent ID equals 36. However, she was also very vexed. Today, I can't steal the limelight from others. It would be better for me to be a bit more low-key. Looking at the cleansing star fan on the table, Qing held the fan in her hand and compared it for a bit, then slightly fanned it. This fan is so comfortable, it is even more comfortable than having air conditioning. Just where did Yihua find this fan from? This fan is too mystical, right? /BR sent ID equals 37. However, I can use the fan to match with a set of clothes. I might as well choose a set of white cheongsam, walking the retro route. This way, I won't steal the limelight. Qing chose a set of white cheongsam that did not have any patterns on it. It was simply too low-key. She tied her hair up, revealing her spotlessly white gooseneck. /BR sent ID equals 38. It's still too beautiful. /sent ID equals 39. Qing said gloomily. Right now, I am still not putting on any makeup. From the looks of it, I basically don't need to put on any makeup in the future. /BR sent ID equals 40. Picking up the star cleansing fan, with a swoosh, I opened it up. Together with the diamond ring that is on my hand, it is too much of a show-off. Let Yihua take a look at it. I wonder if he will be satisfied with it or not. /BR sent ID equals 41. Yihua, what do you think of this set of clothes of mine? Pushing open the door, Qing asked tenderly. /BR sent ID equals 42. N. Yihua answered lightly without even turning his head around. /BR sent ID equals 43. Big sister, you look good no matter what you wear. /sent ID equals 44. Qing Yutong revealed her bootlicking technique, causing Qing to feel a bit better. This scoundrel has already taken such a big advantage of me, and he still doesn't know how to cherish it. Sent br sent ID equals 45 Yihua, quickly go and prepare, we will be setting off in 2 hours. Qingye looked at the clock, it was already 6:00 now. Sent br sent ID equals 46 Yihua took a puff of the cigarette and said faintly, when did I say that I am going? Sent ID equals 47 and you are not allowed to go. Sent br sent ID equals 48 you. Sent ID equals 49 Qingye was really angry. This scoundrel, he only knows how to play games and watch cartoons, and doesn't care about anything else. Sent br sent ID equals 50 in anger, Qingye directly unplugged the power, then returned to the bedroom and even heavily closed the door. Sent br script async src equals https://paget2. Google syndication. com/paget/js/eds/google. JS. Client equals CA, pub, 60633447053353344 inch cross origin equals, anonymous, /script ins class equals adds big Google, style equals, display, block, text align, center, data add layout equals, in article, data add format equals, fluid, data add client equals, CA, pub, 60633447053353344. Data add slot equals 8400950845 /in script adds big Google equals window. Adds big Google. Push /script br sent ID equals 51 brother-in-law, you should go and take a look at big sister. Qing Yutong shook Yihua's hand and persuaded. Sent br sent ID equals 52 Yihua extinguished the cigarette but and coldly walked towards the bedroom. I was just about to properly teach those arrogant humans a lesson, and then the power was unplugged. This Qingye, I even thought that she had become obedient. Sent ID equals 53, I didn't expect that she was still the same as before. Sent br sent ID equals 54 opening the bedroom door, Yihua could see that Qingye was packing her clothes, looking like she was going to leave home. Sent br sent ID equals 55 Yihua's brows wrinkled, then shouted, what are you doing? Sent br sent ID equals 56 I'm leaving. Sent ID equals 57 I've had enough of you. Qingye shouted coldly. Sent br sent ID equals 58 Yihua walked forward and threw the suitcase to the side, making a clattering sound. Sent br sent ID equals 59 Qing Yutong who was hiding outside the door and eavesdropping felt her heart sink. Is he really going to fight? Sent br sent ID equals 60 say that one more time. Sent ID equals 61 Yihua's gaze was cold, and his tones suddenly became cold as he looked down at the woman in front of him. To other people, this woman might be an unattainable woman, but to Yihua, she was just an unqualified wife. Sent br div class equals, order box, style equals, text align, center, H3, you've already exceeded your reading limit for today. If you want to read more, please log in. /h3 br /the ref equals JavaScript, login, type equals, button, class equals, btn_red, login /div id equals, report tooltip, select text and click report to let us know about any bad translation. /div class equals, next page box, a class equals, previous, ref equals, JavaScript, enter pre-index page, and hashtag 39, 1262260612777096592 and hashtag 39, comma and hashtag 39. 1462308015535812608 and hashtag 39, comma and hashtag 39, 57 and hashtag 39, comma and hashtag 39. You cannot afford to offend my woman and hashtag 39 winky face. Previous /a class equals ref equals /s index you cannot afford to offend my woman index a class equals next ref equals JavaScript. Enter next index page and hashtag 39 126222606127770965992 and hashtag 39 comma and hashtag 39 1462308017188368384 and hashtag 39 comma and hashtag 39 59 and hashtag 39 comma and hashtag 39. You cannot afford to offend my woman and hashtag 39 winky face. Next /div div class equals read pop-up QR box style equals display none. A class equals close pop-up ref equals JavaScript void 0 on click equals JavaScript $. Mask box QR box hide /a div class equals pop-up tit h3 /h3 div class equals QR list all /all /div div class equals read pop-up setup box style equals display none. A class equals close pop-up ref equals JavaScript void 0 on click equals JavaScript $. Mask box setup box hide /div class equals a pop-up tit h3 setting /h3 /div class equals setup list all class equals read theme m class equals tit theme and nbsp /mid equals setup color white class equals white current ref equals JavaScript void 0 title equals white on click equals JavaScript book detail. Set backup color 1 /id equals setup color green class equals green ref equals JavaScript void 0 title equals green on click equals JavaScript book detail. Set backup color 2 /id equals setup color pink class equals pink ref equals JavaScript void 0 title equals pink on click equals JavaScript book detail. Set backup color 3 /id equals setup color yellow class equals yellow ref equals JavaScript void 0 title equals yellow on click equals JavaScript book detail. Set backup color 4 /id equals setup color gray class equals gray ref equals JavaScript void 0 title equals gray on click equals JavaScript book detail. Set backup color 5 /id equals setup color night class equals night ref equals JavaScript void 0 title equals night on click equals JavaScript book detail. Set backup color 6 /s/li class equals set font set btn m class equals tit font /mid equals setup font Nunito sans class equals set Nunito sans current ref equals JavaScript void 0 on click equals JavaScript book detail. Set read font family 0 Nunito sans /id equals setup font Merriweather class equals set Merriweather ref equals JavaScript void 0 on click equals JavaScript book detail. Set read font family 1 Merriweather /s/li class equals font size set btn m class equals tit font size and nbsp /m class equals small ref equals JavaScript void 0 on click equals JavaScript book detail. Set read font -2 a dash slash a span class equals current underscore font ID equals C fonts 18 a slash span a class equals big ref equals JavaScript void 0 on click equals JavaScript book detail. Set read font 2 a plus e slash s slash li s slash old slash div slash div slash div class equals mask box style equals display none slash div id equals shower span id equals lab error status slash span slash div class equals mask box style equals display none on click equals JavaScript ufans. Close box, slash div class equals read pop-up PC box style equals display, none ID equals show PC, slash div class equals read pop-up flower box style equals display, none ID equals show flower, slash div class equals read pop-up news tip box style equals display, none ID equals show note, slash div. Div ID equals screen input, class equals screen underscore toolbar, div style equals height, 5px, class equals Lewy, call xs2 Lewy, call sm3 Lewy, call md4 Lewy, call lg4, slash div class equals Lewy, call xs6 Lewy, call sm4 Lewy, call md4 Lewy, call lg4, input type equals text ID equals screen bullet text required lay verify equals required placeholder equals autocomplete equals off class equals Lewy input slash div class equals Lewy call xs2 Lewy call sm1 Lewy call md1 Lewy call lg1 button. Class equals Lewy btn danger send slash button slash div form ID equals screen switch class equals Lewy form div class equals Lewy form item style equals position fixed right 0px bottom 100px title equals NLT and dash label class equals Lewy form label style equals opacity 0. 5. Font weight, bold, color, red, slash label n dash, and gt, div class equals, Lewy input block, input class equals, clear, type equals, checkbox, name equals, switch, layskin equals, switch, slash div slash form, script language equals, JavaScript, type equals, text slash JavaScript, function go to Google Play, window. Open, https://play. Google.com/store/app/details. ID equals com, novelty, if font, $. Read box. CSS, font size, font plus, px, $, hashtag cfonts. HTML, font, $, hashtag chapter body. Class, article content font, plus font, book detail. Reshow cover, if, font number, book detail. Set read font family, font number, if, color number, book detail. Set backup color, color number, if, color number equals $6, Logo img. src, /images/logo underscore white. PNG, // var book ID equals $, hashtag book ID. Val, var current index ID equals $, hashtag current content ID. Val, var current index number equals $, hashtag current index number. Val, $. Ajax, type, get, URL, /user/ query is in shelf, data, book ID, $, hashtag book ID. Val, data type, JSON, success, function, data, if, data. Code equals 200, if, data. Data, $, hashtag cfaves. HTML, a class equals \ac underscore shelf / ref equals \, JavaScript, void, 0, \, b in library /b / $. Ajax, type, post, URL, /user/add read history, data, book ID, pre-content ID, current index ID, data type, JSON, success, function, data, error, function, else if, data. Code == 1001 / else layer. Alert, data. Message, error, function, layer. Alert, network error. $, content. CSS, min height, $, height, 60, plus, px, var last read book index data equals, last read book index data, index ID, equals current index ID, last read book index data, index name, equals $, current index name. Val, last read book index data, index number, equals current index number, last read book index data, index create time, equals $, current index create time. Val, local storage. Set item, last read book index, plus book ID, JSON. Stringify, last read book index data, var pre-index ID equals $, pre-index ID. Val, var pre-index number equals $, pre-index number. Val, var next index ID equals $, next index ID. Val, var next index number equals $, next index number. Val, var simple name equals $, simple name. Val, function, book detail. Get read set, book ID, current index ID, pre-index ID, next index ID, pre-index number, next index number, simple name, $. IC_setup. Click, function, $. Mask box. Setup box. Show, $. IC_phone. Click, function, $. Mask box. QR box. Show, $, window. Scroll, function, var top equals $, document. Scroll top, var bottom equals $, document. Height, top, $, window. Height, if, top greater than 50, $. Menu_left. CSS, position, fixed, $. Menu_left. CSS, top, 2px, else, $. Menu_left. CSS, position, absolute, $. Menu_left. CSS, top, 60px, if bottom less than 150, $. Menu_right. CSS, position, absolute, $. Menu_right. CSS, bottom, 150px, else, $. Menu_right. CSS, position, fixed, $. Menu_right. CSS, bottom, 2px, var bg class equals 1, if, bg class equals 6, $. Logo img. @src, /images/logo_white. PNG, $. Read theme Click, function, $. Logo img. @src, /images/logo. PNG, $. #setup_color_night. Click, function, $. Logo img. @src, /images/logo_white. PNG, var turn page button freeze equals false, function enter pre-index page, book ID, book index ID, pre-number, simple name, if, turn page button freeze, return, turn page button freeze equals true, if, book index ID equals 0, / window. Location. Ref equals /book/ plus book ID plus / plus book index ID plus. HTML window. Location. Ref equals s plus simple name plus / plus pre-number, else / window. Location. Ref equals /book/index list dash plus book ID plus. HTML, window. Location. Ref equals /s/index/ plus simple name, function enter next index page, book ID, book index ID, next number, simple name, if, turn page button freeze, return, turn page button freeze equals true, if, book index ID equals 0, / window. Location. Ref equals /book/ plus book ID plus / plus book index ID plus. HTML, window. Location. Ref equals s plus simple name plus / plus next number, else, window. Location. Ref equals /s/ recommend / plus simple name, function read limit upgrade, window. Location. Ref equals /pay/ index. HTML. Return URL equals plus window. Location. Ref, function by book index, / $. Ajax, / type, post, / URL, /user / by book index, / data, book ID, $, hashtag book ID. Val, book name, $, hashtag book name. Val, / book index ID, $, hashtag pre-content ID. Val, book index name, $, hashtag pre-index name. Val, / data type, JSON, / success, function, data, / if, data. Code equals 200, / location. Reload, / else if, data. Code equals 1001, / location. Ref equals /user /login. HTML. Origin URL equals plus decode URI component, location. Ref, / else, / layer. Alert, data. Message, / error, function, / layer. Alert, network error. / window. Location. Ref equals /pay/ index dash plus book ID plus. HTML. Return URL equals plus window. Location. Ref, function unlock book, $. Get, /book/ query book index content, book ID, $, hashtag book ID. Val, book index ID, $, hashtag current content ID. Val, auto unlock, $, hashtag unlock check, 0. Checked, function, res, $, hashtag show reading. HTML, res. Data, $, hashtag unlock div. Hide, $, hashtag share unlock div. Hide, $. Post, /book/ add visit count, book ID, $, hashtag book ID. Val, function login, location. Ref equals /user /login. HTML. Origin URL equals plus decode URI component, location. Ref, function set auto unlock, $. Post, /user /set auto unlock, $. Switch component, 0. Checked, function, / start FBQ, track, view content, content underscore IDs, book ID, / ENDFB /script. Script th, if equals, $, book. ID EQ1262260612777095189 inch async equals async datic facing equals false src equals // upgulpinen com/1 Z equals 4664834 inch /script type equals text /JavaScript function open report service let sentence report dialog equals document get element by ID sentence report dialog let dialog content equals document get element by ID SR dialog content let comment text area equals document query selector hashtag SR dialog comment input text area let dialog cancel btn equals document. Get element by ID, SR dialog cancel, let dialog send btn equals document. Get element by ID, SR dialog send, let report error btn equals document. Get element by ID, report error btn, let show reading equals document. Get element by ID, show reading, let can report equals document. Query selector. Hashtag can report. Value equals false. False, true, let span indexes equals, let selection string equals null, let underscore span indexes, let underscore selection string, let is sending report equals false, function show report error btn, report error btn. Class list. Add, report error btn show, function hide report error btn, report error btn. Class list. Remove, report error btn show, function click report error btn, // show reading. Style. Color equals hashtag plus math. Random. To string, 16. Slice, -6, dialog content. Inner HTML equals selection string, open sentence report dialog, hide report error btn, report error btn. Add event listener, click report error btn, function reset report error btn position, y, let, x, container x, y, container y, equals document. Query selector, hashtag show reading. Get bounding client rect, report error btn. Style. Top equals y, container y plus, px, function show dialog sending loading animation, dialog send btn. Class list. Add, SR dialog send sending, function hide dialog sending loading animation, dialog send btn. Class list. Remove, SR dialog send sending, let sending report ajax equals null, function cancel handler, comment text area. Value equals, close sentence report dialog, if, sending report ajax, sending report ajax. Abort, hide dialog sending loading animation, is sending report equals false, async function send handler, if, is sending report, return, show dialog sending loading animation, is sending report equals true, let comment equals comment text area. Value, let proxy resolve, let pro equals new promise, function, resolve, proxy resolve equals resolve, var book index ID equals $, hashtag current content ID. Val, sending report ajax equals $. Ajax, URL, /user /sentence /report, type, post, headers, content type, application /JSON, data, JSON. Stringify, sentence, underscore selection string, comment, book index ID, span indexes, underscore span indexes. Done, function, response, proxy resolve, response, let response equals await pro, if, response. Code equals 200, comment text area. Value equals, layer. Open, title, successful, icon, 1, content, the report is successfully sent. Thank you for your feedback. Close sentence report dialog, sending report ajax equals null, else, layer. Open, title, failed, icon, 2, content, report sending failed, please try again. Hide dialog sending loading animation, is sending report equals false, function open sentence report dialog, underscore span indexes equals span indexes, underscore selection string equals selection string, dialog cancel btn. Add event listener, click, cancel handler, dialog send btn. Add event listener, click, send handler, sentence report dialog. Class list. Remove, dialog hidden, function close sentence report dialog, dialog cancel btn. Remove event listener, click, cancel handler, dialog send btn. Remove event listener, click, send handler, sentence report dialog. Class list. Add, dialog hidden, function switch to correct fault mode, callback, let handler equals, equals, let selection equals window. Get selection, let range try, range equals selection. Get range at 0, let range start DOM equals range. End container, let range end DOM equals range. Start container, let is valid equals selection. To string. Replace, new regexp, \\s single quote, g. Length 1 and range start DOM. Parent element. Closest, hashtag show reading, and range end DOM. Parent element. Closest, hashtag show reading, callback, is valid, selection, catch, console. Log, invalid selection. Document. Add event listener, selection change, handler, return, equals, document. Remove event listener, selection change, handler, // span index function get span indexes, template str, beginning, offset, reverse equals false, skip valid equals false, let beginning container equals beginning. Node name equals hashtag text. Beginning. Parent element, beginning, let span indexes equals, beginning container. Get attribute, id, if, beginning. Text content. Includes, template str, // else, let concat str equals, if. Reverse, concat str equals beginning. Text content. Slice, offset, // let below equals beginning container, while. Concat str. Includes, template str and end below. Next sibling, below equals below. Next sibling, concat str plus equals below. Node name equals br. Below. Text content, if, below. Node name. Equals hashtag text and below. Node name equals sent and end below. Get attribute, id, span indexes. Push, below. Get attribute, id, // concat striff, concat str. Index of, template str. Equals 0 and. Skip valid, return, else, concat str equals beginning. Text content. Slice, 0, offset, // let upper equals beginning container, while. Concat str. Includes, template str and end upper. Previous sibling, upper equals upper. Previous sibling, concat str equals, upper. Node name equals br. Upper. Text content, plus concat str, if, upper. Node name. Equals hashtag text and upper. Node name equals sent and end upper. Get attribute, id, span indexes. Push, upper. Get attribute, id, // concat striff, concat str. Index of, template str. Equals concat str. Length, template str. Length and. Skip valid, return span indexes, function get span indexes in all content, template str, let span indexes equals, let concat str equals show reading. Child nodes, 0. Child nodes, 0. Text content, // let below equals show reading. Child nodes, 0, while, below. Next sibling, below equals below. Next sibling, concat_str plus equals below. Node name equals br. Below. Text content, if, concat_str. Includes, template_str and end below. Node name equals sent and end below. Get attribute, ID, span indexes. Push, below. Get attribute, ID, concat_str equals, return span indexes. If, can report, switch to correct fault mode, is valid, selection, equals, if, is valid, span indexes equals, show report error btn, let, x, start x, y, start y, height, start height, equals selection. Get range at, 0. Get bounding client rect, reset report error btn position, start y plus start height plus 8, let start text equals selection. Anchor node, let start offset equals selection. Anchor offset, let end text equals selection. Focus node, let end offset equals selection. Focus offset, let reverse equals false, let range instead equals selection. Get range at, 0, / start end nbsp, if, start text. Next sibling equals show reading, start text equals show reading. Child nodes, 0. Child nodes, 0, start offset equals 0, let underscore range equals document. Create range underscore range. Set start text, start offset, underscore range. Set end, range instead. End container, range instead. End offset, range instead equals underscore range, if, end text. Next sibling equals show reading, end text equals show reading. Child nodes, 0. Child nodes, 0, end offset equals 0, let underscore range equals document. Create range underscore range. Set start, end text, end offset, underscore range. Set end, range instead. End container, range instead. End offset, range instead equals underscore range, / if, end text equals start text and start offset and offset, reverse equals true, / start end. If, start text. Equals show reading and end text. Equals show reading, let overnode equals start text. Parent element. Previous sibling, while, reverse equals false and end overnode, if, overnode equals end text. Parent element, reverse equals true, overnode equals overnode. Previous sibling, / start end if, reverse, let temp1 equals start text, let temp2 equals start offset, start text equals end text, start offset equals end text equals temp1, end offset equals temp2, let filter adver content equals selection. To string. Replace \n plus adds big Google equals window. Adds big Google. Push if start text equals end text and in start text. Equals show reading / start end selection string equals start text. Text content. Slice 0 start offset plus selection string plus equals filter adver content, selection string plus equals a // let split result equals end text. Text content. Slice and offset. Split / /s $$ selection string plus equals split result 0 plus split result 1 / spanced span indexes equals get span indexes, range instead. To string, start text, start offset, false else / start end if, start text. Equals show reading and end text. Equals show reading / / selection string equals start text. Text content. Slice, 0, start offset. Split. Slice, -1, 0, plus I, selection string plus equals start text. Text content. Slice, start offset, / start, and, br, selection string let node equals start text. Parent element. Next sibling, while, node. Equals end text. Parent element, if, node. Node name equals br, selection string plus equals br, else, selection string plus equals node. Text content, node equals node. Next sibling, selection string plus equals end text. Text content. Slice, 0, end offset, selection string equals selection string. Replace, \n, plus, adds big Google equals window. Adds big Google. Push, selection string plus equals \/ I let split result equals end text. Text content. Slice and offset. Split, / \\s $, $g, selection string plus equals split result, 0, plus, split result, 1, span indexes equals get span indexes, range instead. To string, start text, start offset, false, else if, start text equals show reading and end text. Equals show reading, selection string equals, I plus filter adver content plus, \/ a, let indexes 1 equals get span indexes, range instead. To string, end text, end offset, false, let indexes 2 equals get span indexes, range instead. To string, end text, end offset, true, span indexes equals indexes 1. Length 0. Indexes 1, indexes 2, else if, start text. Equals show reading and end text equals show reading, selection string equals, I plus filter adver content plus, \/ a, let indexes 1 equals get span indexes, range instead. To string, start text, start offset, false, let indexes 2 equals get span indexes, range instead. To string, start text, start offset, true, span indexes equals indexes 1. Length 0. Indexes 1, indexes 2, else if, start text equals show reading and end text equals show reading, selection string equals, I plus filter adver content plus, \/ it, span indexes equals get span indexes in all content, range instead. To string, else, hide report error btn, open report service, /script type equals, text / JavaScript, src equals, /JavaScript / share this. JS /script type equals, text / JavaScript, src equals, /JavaScript / sharethis init. JS /script type equals, text / JavaScript, / var need share equals false, var need share, var shared equals false, var btns equals document. Get elements by class name, stbtn, var index, function on share click, if, need share, shared equals true, $. Post, /user /update share info, null, index equals layer. Load, 2, shade, 0, 5, number 000, /0, 1 function init share btn, if, btns. Length equals 0, set timeout, equals, init share btn, 500, return, if, need share, 4, let I equals 0, I btns. Length, I++, btns, I. On click equals on share click, init share btn, window. On focus equals function, if, need share and end shared, shared equals false, set timeout, equals, layer. Close, index, $. Get, /book /query need share book index content, book ID, $, hashtag book ID hidden. Val, book index ID, $, hashtag current content ID. Val, function, res2, $, hashtag show reading. HTML, res2. Data, $, hashtag share unlock div. Hide, need share equals false, 2000, /script /body/HTML. Chapter 59. Why? Yihua asked coldly. You still ask me why? Have you done what a husband should do? I just wanted you to see if my clothes were good or not, but you didn't even turn your head. I asked you to accompany me to the banquet, but you refused. Don't you know that people will bully your wife? What kind of husband are you? I must have been blind to have taken a fancy to you. Qinya scolded as she pushed Yihua away. Her aura was oppressive, and she was simply unrivaled. Qinya was only willing to stop when she pushed Yihua onto the wall. I cooperated with you, hoping to become the woman that you want me to be, but what about you? You only think about yourself. How can you be so selfish? Can't you treat me better? What Qinya scolded was indeed right. Yihua was indeed selfish. Are you done scolding? Yihua asked gravely. No. Why don't we order takeout first? Qinya froze, and her beautiful face became completely red. With a poochie sound, she laughed, and this laughter brought tears, and gradually, she started crying loudly. Why was her life so bitter? She was clearly in the middle of a quarrel, a breakup, and a divorce, yet she was thinking of ordering takeout. She really couldn't go on living like this. Yihua hugged onto Qinya, who was crying bitterly, and no matter how much she struggled, Yihua didn't let go. I can go with you, but you have to promise me one thing. Just from the aura that Qinya gave off when she pushed me just now, I can tell that she has the potential to become his honor's wife. What? Be obedient in the future. Yihua. Tell me clearly, when have I ever been disobedient? If you want me to peel the crayfish, I'll peel it for you. If you want me to buy breakfast, I'll go too. I, Qinya, have never listened to a man like this in my entire life. Qinya shouted angrily. What I mean is, don't run away from home so easily in the future. Yihua's tone became much more relaxed. I hope that this scene will not be seen by others. If not, where would I, a supreme overlord, be able to put my face? To be threatened by a woman, and on top of that, I succeeded. Qinya went into a daze for a moment, and both of them became silent at the same time. You look very good in this qipao, very beautiful. Yihua said faintly. Don't think that I will forgive you just because you said something nice. Rumble. Qinya's stomach failed to live up to her expectations and made a sound. This is so awkward, especially during the confrontation of aura. With this sound, I have already lost half of the battle. After letting go of Qinya, Yihua said with a slight smile, I will order takeout. On the other hand, Qinya covered her face and ran into the washroom. What a disgrace. Qing Yutong, who was outside the door, let out a sigh. Quarreling for 10 minutes, reconciling for 20 seconds. In the future, if they were to quarrel, I'll just buy some melon seeds and spicy sticks, pull out a small stool, and quietly watch them. Yihua, why don't you wear this suit? The suit that you are wearing right now is filled with the stench of smoke. Their temper came and went quickly. See, the two of them immediately acted as if nothing had happened. Yihua took off his suit and wore the one that was in Qinya's hands. Help me bring this one to dry clean. Qinya folded the suit neatly and placed it at the side. When the time comes, I will send the suit to be cleaned. Looking at Qinya busying herself here and there, Yihua felt that Qinya had changed a bit. Seems like my teachings are still effective. Not long later, the crayfish was served, and the three began to enjoy the delicacy of the crayfish. Right now, needless to say, Qingya would take the initiative to peel the crayfish for Yihua, and after eating one crayfish for herself, she would peel the crayfish for Yihua. Yihua was like a big boss as he enjoyed the delicacies. Having a woman is so comfortable. Yutong, I am going to acquire a broadcasting platform, and it will be completed within these few days. At that time, you will have to cooperate with me to advertise the platform. Qingya took out the prawn meat, placed it into Yihua's bowl, and said faintly. All right. Yutong, recently, Leisure Bar's business isn't good. When should we advertise it a bit and stand on the platform? Yihua picked up the prawn meat with his chopsticks and said. He felt that the prawn meat was more interesting to eat than the dragon meat. The chopsticks in Qing Yutong's hand immediately fell onto the ground. The two of you, to actually treat me as a money-making machine, you two have no conscience. Qingya said faintly, before you become a has-been, you can still earn money. After that, it would be hard to say. Yihua added. A tiger that has fallen from grace is being bullied by big sister, and also brother-in-law. I am going to sue you two for kidnapping child labor. Qingya smiled and said, Yutong, you are not young anymore. When are you planning to get married? I like brother-in-law. Qing Yutong began to counterattack. As long as you two are talking about this matter, you two are using brother-in-law as a weapon. Stop fooling around, be more serious. Qingya said. Qing Yutong pouted her mouth, then drank a mouthful of cocktail. I am not joking, I just like brother-in-law, forget it, do as you wish. Qingya felt that she couldn't do anything about it. I will just let her live and perish on her own. In actuality, with Qing Yutong's current appearance, wouldn't it be easy for her to find a husband? Yihua stretched out his hand and patted onto Qing Yutong's head. Yutong, it is fine for you to like brother-in-law, but you have to improve yourself first, only then will brother-in-law like you. Qing Yutong didn't expect that her brother-in-law would be so cooperative, and said shyly, since brother-in-law has already said so, sister-in-law will definitely cooperate, I will not disappoint brother-in-law. Qingya chose to ignore it, these two are determined to anger me. Seeing that Qingya was silent, Yihua was very satisfied. This is how a wife should be magnanimous. Seeing that her big sister was silent, Qing Yutong was secretly happy in her heart. So big sister has tacitly agreed to it, so perverted, I am full, you two can go on your date, I am going back to my room to play games. Brother-in-law, remember to come back early, we will combine our swords and go on a killing spree. Qing Yutong touched her mouth and laughed. All right. Yihua said indifferently. However, Qingya rolled her eyes and said unhappily, Yihua, you are already going to be a father, and you are still playing games with Yutong. Boring. If you are bored, then go and find a job. Even more boring. Qingya gave up, this fellow is so lazy that he has reached a critical point. Coming to the bedroom, Qingya changed into a white cheongsam, and Yihua leaned on the side and looked at her. No matter from which angle I look at my woman, she is so perfect, not bad. Yihua, come over and help me pull up the zipper. Qingya called out lightly. Yihua walked to the back of Qingya, pulled up the zipper, and wrapped his hands around Qingya's slender waist. The two of them looked at each other in the mirror at the same time. It must be said that their appearance is simply a perfect match, and the expression on their brows is also perfect. A match made in heaven is nothing more than this. Facing Yihua's gaze, Qingya was a bit shy and slightly turned her face away. What are you looking at? Looking at whether you have eye wax or not. The romantic atmosphere immediately disappeared completely, and what was left behind was only Qingya's anger. Go. I don't want to talk to you. Looking at the beautiful back view, Yihua laughed lightly, then walked out of the bedroom and went downstairs. Yihua's heart became cold. Wei Chang and the other employees are just standing there doing nothing. This is a sign that the company is going to collapse. Seems like I have to let my sister-in-law do some publicity. Chapter 60. After Yi Hua and Qinya left, Tang Wei came to the front of Uncle Wei and asked in a low voice, "Uncle Wei, why do I feel that the lady boss has become more beautiful?" "Oh, that's normal," Wei Chang said calmly. In his heart, there was no distinction between beautiful women and ugly women. To Wei Chang, they were all just food. "Uncle Wei, do you like beautiful girls?" After a long time, Tang Wei asked shyly. Wei Chang didn't think much of it. "It's all right." Tang Wei secretly rejoiced and asked again, "Then, do you mind if your girlfriend is much younger than you?" "No." Wei Chang's answer was very decisive. In his heart, there was no concept of age. "Then, Uncle Wei, do you mind if I become your girlfriend?" Tang Wei made up her mind. At worst, she would just be heartlessly rejected like last time. Actually, after thinking about it, Tang Wei felt that she was too impulsive at that time. Her boss was too handsome. However, Wei Chang was different. Because she had been in contact with Wei Chang every day, she was slowly moved by Wei Chang's concern. Therefore, today's confession wasn't blind, it was very serious. If Wei Chang rejected her, she reckoned that she would be even sadder than that day. To someone like Wei Chang, a girlfriend was dispensable. After hearing Tang Wei's confession, Wei Chang tightly wrinkled his brows, causing Tang Wei's heart to sink. Just as Yi Hua was about to open his mouth to reject Yi Hua suddenly recalled his honor's teaching. Learn about human nature. Even his honor had already gotten a wife, and Lai Gu even had 3 wives. Shouldn't I also learn about human emotions? This is not a bad idea. Looking at Tang Wei in front of him, although she was not at the level of madam, she could be considered as one of the best among human women. Being able to accompany him could be considered as passing. "Xiao Tang, of course you can be my girlfriend." Wei Chang smiled. Hearing Wei Chang's reply, Tang Wei felt that it was a bit strange, but she didn't care too much about it. Uncle Wei agreed, "That's great." She suddenly kissed Uncle Wei on the cheek and jogged away to her best friend's side with a shy look on her face. Wei Chang touched the place where he was kissed just now and was currently feeling it. It feels soft and very comfortable. No wonder both his honor and Lai Gu have women. It turns out that this is the taste. Wei, you. Tang Wei's best friend was called Fang Qian, and the two of them were in the same dormitory. However, Fang Qian was not as beautiful as Tang Wei, and was a very ordinary girl. However, Fang Qian's heart was still very good, and it could be seen from how she pleaded for Tang Wei last time. Tang Wei shyly bit her lips as she secretly looked towards Wei Chang. With one look, one could tell that she was a little girl who had fallen in love. "Fang Qian, I know what you are thinking, but this time, I am not being impulsive." Tang Wei knew that her best friend was worried about her and thought that she was being hot-headed again. Fang Qian felt that it was normal for Tang Wei to like the boss. At the very least, the age difference between them was not much. But Uncle Wei was at least 20 years older than Tang Wei. Wei, but your age, what's the matter?" "Uncle Wei is getting old, at least I still have the strength to take care of him," Tang Wei said with a light smile. Seemingly, she had long thought of this kind of problem and had already made a plan. Actually, Tang Wei had been following her mother since she was young. Her father had died early, and she, who had never experienced fatherly love, suddenly met with Wei Chang, this kind of uncle and warm man. Her heart was immediately captivated. This was the man she wanted. Fang Qian still did not understand. With Tang Wei's ability, she would have limitless potential after graduation. Uncle Wei was indeed very nice to people and was also very handsome, but in the end, he was just a security captain. Fang Qian did not voice out her thoughts. After all, this was Tang Wei's own decision. Wei, tomorrow is Jia Jiaojia's birthday, are we going?" Fang Qian frowned and asked, seemingly hesitating. After hearing that, Tang Wei also revealed out an unhappy expression. Let's go, in any case, we are still in the same dormitory. But she, alright, rich people are all like that, let's just ignore her. Sigh, we can only do this. Fang Qian said. Jia Jiaojia was very rich, the car that she drove to school was even a Ferrari-level supercar, and the other girls in the dormitory were all people from ordinary families. How could they be as rich as Jia Jiaojia? And Jia Jiaojia was very unhappy with Tang Wei, not for any other reason, but just because Tang Wei was good-looking. Thus, Jia Jiaojia thought of all sorts of ways to bring Tang Wei along with her and then ridiculed Tang Wei. At the start, Tang Wei thought that Jia Jiaojia was a rich second generation, but later on, she found out that Jia Jiaojia was also a rich second generation, and gradually became estranged from Jia Jiaojia. Adding on that Jia Jiaojia did not live in the dormitory, their relationship was just like that. However, towards Jia Jiaojia's invitation, Tang Wei was hoping that Jia Jiaojia would not be like how she was in the past. In actuality, Tang Wei was thinking too much. It was hard to change a person's nature. Even Wei Chang was unable to change his bad habit of eating people. On the other side, Yi Hua and Qingye drove towards Pin 1 clubhouse. Yi Hua sized up Qingye, and Qingye, who was driving, naturally knew that Yi Hua was looking at her. Yi Hua, can you move your eyeballs to another direction? Qingye couldn't take it anymore. She felt that wherever this fellow's gaze landed on, that part of her would feel very itchy. Yi Hua seemed to be not very satisfied. Qingye, aren't you dressed too casually? You didn't say that at home just now. Qingye said angrily, this is simply looking for trouble. Oh, just now at home, I only looked at your charm. Charm your head. Qingye pouted. If this man was a bit more obedient, I would be able to save myself a lot of trouble. Yi Hua was displeased. As my, Yi Hua's, wife, you are above tens of thousands of people and below only one person, you are destined to be the most resplendent woman. A few black lines immediately appeared on Qingye's forehead. I have never seen someone praise me like this before, below only one person. You are just beating around the bush to brag about yourself, right? However, at least I can still hear what you said at the end, at least you are tactful. Alright, stop bragging. Later on, when the banquet arrives, you can't be like this anymore, there should be a lot of big figures that will come. Qingye guessed. The banquet that was hosted by Shao family was no ordinary banquet. Yi Hua sneered, for me to be able to come, it will be the most honorable thing that happened in their entire lives. Qingye rolled down the car window on Yi Hua's side and said faintly, I will allow you to smoke a cigarette to calm down. Yi Hua didn't speak. What kind of banquet is worthy for me, the Supreme Overlord, to attend? I dare to ask who in this world is capable of inviting me, the Supreme Overlord. Even if I were to attend, my lifespan would be shortened. Yo, angry. Seeing that Yi Hua didn't speak and didn't smoke for a long time, Qingye laughed. Ignorant. Alright, I am ignorant, alright, great sir. Sometimes, Qingye felt that Yi Hua was just like a child that needed to be coaxed. It's good that you know. Qingye let out a sigh. My life is also bitter. In the future, after coaxing the young, I still have to coax the older. First-class clubhouse, one of the high-class places in Long and City, the expenses here were rather high, and it was really hard for an ordinary person to spend money here. However, the most mysterious person here was the boss of this clubhouse, who had never appeared before. The clubhouse occupied a very large area, at least the size of a football field. Furthermore, the main point of the clubhouse was that it was located in the downtown area. In the Golden Long and City, the clubhouse appeared to be very luxurious. Chapter 61. Qingye drove into the clubhouse unhurriedly, while Yi Hua held onto his chin, appearing to be very bored. I shouldn't have appeared in this kind of manner, should have appeared in the same manner as a long time ago. I remember that there were many times when I appeared in this kind of occasion, and even bigger ones, and I would start killing without saying anything. My 7 subordinates would be enjoying it, and although I didn't make a move, it was also very comfortable to watch, enjoying the weak and small screams of the humans, just like the symphony music, and also those insignificant curses. It's just that I haven't had this kind of happy time for 5 years already. I really want to find another chance. I wonder which lucky person would have this kind of honor. What are you laughing at again? Chinya parked the car, then stretched out her hand and punched Yihua. Of course, it was the kind that punched Yihua's arm. It looked like she was complaining, but it looked more like she was acting coquettishly. Yihua came back to his senses, nothing much. Humph, forget it if you don't want to say. Chinya pouted. The two of them opened the door and got off the car. This small parking lot was already big enough for a car show. Chinya's car could be considered to be of low grade, and the rest of the cars were all top-notch business cars, Bentley, Rolls-Royce, and Audi. But all these were nothing. When Chinya walked out of the car, she was destined to become the main character today, no matter how much she lowered her own taste. That pure white cheongsam that she was wearing vividly displayed her curves, that delicate and tender skin that was just like a baby's skin, making people couldn't help but have the urge to take a bite. A devastatingly beautiful face made people exclaim in admiration, how could there be such a perfect face shape in the world? It was as if Nuwa opened the back door for her, and the white feather fan that she was holding on her hand added a kind of aristocratic charm, as if saying that she already had a man. And the ring on that pair of slender hands was even more dazzling, but a lot of people would only think that it was a man-made color diamond, or maybe it was not a diamond at all, because how could a diamond have so many colors? Even if it was a rare colored diamond, it was also impossible. Of course, they did not know the origin of this diamond ring. This was a genuine unlimited ring. If the theory on the movie was true, then with just a snap of Chinya's fingers, half of the people would die. If Chinya knew that the ring that she was wearing had this kind of function, who knows what she would think. Of course, other than snapping of Chinya's fingers, there were also other functions. It was a pity that all of these functions were sealed by Yihua, and right now, it was just a diamond ring that was being suspected by others. Yihua's attire was still the same as before. He was wearing a black suit, and there was nothing special about him. If one really had to add something special, then it would be that there was an extremely beautiful Chinya beside him. The two of them, one black and one white, formed a sharp contrast. The hall of Class 1 clubhouse was very unique. There was a huge golden eagle suspended in the air at the center of the hall. It spread its wings and held a snake in its claws, but if anyone observed it closely, they would find that it was not a snake, but more like a dragon. The intersecting golden staircase was very tasteful, and it was very suitable for big shots to walk down from it. It would appear very imposing, and of course, it would also be very pretentious. Therefore, many big shots would choose to hold banquets here and enjoy that moment of pretentiousness. When the two of them appeared in the front hall of the clubhouse, they immediately became the center of attention. The woman stared at Yihua, and the man stared at Chinya. Isn't this Gao Hai City's cool and elegant CEO Chinya? I haven't seen you for half a year and you've become even more beautiful. Yeah, I saw her in Gao Hai City last month. She was also beautiful, but this time, I was even more amazed. I don't know why, but I just want to kneel and lick her. You men are truly perverted. Yihua sneered. My woman, you humans are only fit to lick her shoes. No, you don't even have the qualifications to kneel and lick her shoes. Yihua, let's take a walk outside first. Chinya said in a low voice. In the past, I have seen those lecherous gazes before, but today, it was especially different. Just like when I was in the company, the gazes of those men seemed to be able to see through me. As my woman, I am the one who is the center of attention of the world, so how can I have stage fright? In the future, I am going to be worshipped by all living beings, so I have to be able to dominate the scene. What are you walking for? Let's go over there and take a seat. Yihua said indifferently. There were quite a lot of people in the front hall, and all of them were here to participate in the banquet. Right now, the main character had not arrived yet, and thus, they were temporarily waiting here. However, all of them were standing while chatting, and no one went to sit on the spacious and soft sofa. If the main character were to appear and discover that you were sitting, he would definitely leave behind a bad impression towards you. After all of the people who came today were here to seek cooperation. Yihua, stop messing around. Qingye said in a low voice. Why is this fellow giving me such a headache? You are pregnant, you cannot stand for a long time. Yihua said lightly. This explanation made Qingye feel comfortable in her heart, but I still feel that it is a bit impolite for me to sit down like this. Yihua wanted to foster Qingye's rebellious thoughts. Just like right now, while others are respectfully standing and waiting, we have to sit down, and we even have to assume the sitting posture of a big shot. Yihua, it's all right. Sit down. Yihua, Qingye's tone carried a hint of pleading. Yihua didn't care about all that. Hugging onto Qingye's waist that caused others to be envious of him, Yihua directly sat on the sofa, and while he was at it, he even displayed a wave of public display of affection. Qingye's face was a bit red. This fellow is intentionally making things difficult for me. Does he think that hugging onto a beauty like me will give him a great sense of accomplishment? Waiter! Yihua shouted out. A beauty who was wearing a cheongsam at the side ran over and asked, Mister, what do you need? Give me a cup of iced Sprite and a cup of plain water. Yihua said indifferently. Qingye wrinkled her brows. I want to drink iced cola. You are pregnant and you still want to drink iced cola. Do you want me to beat you up? Yihua said unhappily. These few days, I have been thinking about the things that pregnant women should pay attention to. This woman is just stupid. Qingye snorted coldly and turned her head away from Yihua. Not long later, the beauty who was wearing a cheongsam leisurely walked over. Mister, your iced Sprite. Madam, your plain water. Yihua drank a small mouthful. The cool feeling is indeed not bad. Qingye threw a small tantrum, not drinking and not caring about it. Yihua let her be. However, most of the people in the hall were looking over here. Some were rejoicing in Qingye's misfortune, and some were shaking their heads, seemingly disapproving of their way of doing things. In the end, Qingye's trump card was still not strong enough. Facing the Dragon God Corporation, she was still a newborn baby. At most, she could only be counted as an infant that could crawl. Qingye also knew how important business partners were. Right now, being pulled by Yihua like this, it was as if he was drawing a line between them. If I had known earlier, I wouldn't have brought this fellow here, suddenly. At the entrance of the clubhouse, waves of greetings could be heard. Yihua took out a cigarette, lit it up, and looked towards the entrance. Is your acting cool after smoking syndrome about to flare up? Qingye immediately grabbed onto the opportunity, but she did not stop Yihua from smoking. This fellow seems to be having a hard time holding back his cigarette, so I will just let him smoke one cigarette. Who is that person? Yihua asked curiously. Chapter 62. That is a person from Zijin City's Tang family. His name is Tang Wushuang. I heard that he was frivolous in the past and was sent to join the army. During that time, a huge change happened to Tang family. His parents were killed, and he disappeared for 5 years to join the army. When he came back, he rose to power and took back Tang Group from his uncle's hands. His relationship with Xiao Yi is very good. Qingye explained. In actuality, she was rather curious about the big families in Zijin City. After hearing what Qingye said, Yihua didn't think much of it and continued to ask, who are the two women beside him? Quan Anrong, Mu Jia, I heard that they are both his women. Qingye said in disdain. For a man like this to have two girlfriends, I only have one. Luckily, I have the advantage in quality. Qingye, you should be glad. Yihua said faintly. TSK, if you have the ability then go and find them. Other than me who was foolishly tricked by you, who else would be able to endure your temper? Qingye rolled her eyes at Yihua. In this world, other than me who can slightly endure his shortcomings, other women would probably collapse. Yihua hugged onto her slender waist tightly and asked faintly, was I lying to you? Don't forget that you delivered yourself to me. If it was possible, I definitely wouldn't step into your bar. Qingye said coldly. This fellow is bringing up the past again, bastard. After hearing that, Yihua's heart sunk as he asked, do you really think so? Qingye turned her head away and didn't say anything. Yihua also let go of Qingye's slender waist and leaned on the side while drinking Sprite. I am not even angry, what are you getting angry for? Qingye, who was flustered and exasperated, opened the star-cleansing fan in her hands, and the gentle sound of the fan immediately echoed in the hall. Tang Wushuang, who was currently greeting other people, turned his head around and took a look. He saw a man and a woman sitting on the sofa, and that woman, beautiful. Really beautiful. The feather fan in her hands was even more beautiful. If I didn't guess wrongly, that fan is not an ordinary item. Just from the sound of the fan, I can tell who this woman is. Why haven't I heard of her before? Anrong, who is she? Tang Wushuang asked with a smile. Quan Anrong's business talent was not bad, and she was even a schoolbelle. She had been following Tang Wushuang since he went missing, and right now, she was Tang Wushuang's left and right arm. Qingqing International's Qingye. Quan Anrong's gaze actually revealed a trace of envy. Why is this Qingye so beautiful? Tang Wushuang went into a daze. Qing clan. That's right, Mu Jia said with a smile. Damn, there is actually such a beauty in Qing family, and I have actually never heard of her before. I am truly ashamed to face the heavens. Who is that man? Tang Wushuang looked towards Yihua and asked. Quan Anrong shook his head. I don't know. I heard that she has a fiancé. It might be him. What a pity, both of them are women who already have fiancés. Tang Wushuang felt very heartache. Mu Jia pinched Tang Wushuang petulantly and pouted coquettishly, you already have more than 10 harems, and you still want to add more. Exactly. My two lovely wives, you are being too serious with your words. How would I dare to do that? I am merely joking around. Tang Wushuang hurriedly coaxed his lovely wives. The harem mustn't be in a mess. If the harem is in a mess, I won't be able to make a fuss at night. Before Yihua and Qingye could even say anything, they were just like two mischievous children. At this moment, the lights dimmed. Two rays of white light shone onto the staircase, and Xiao Yi and Nangong Sini could be seen appearing at both ends of the staircase. Nangong Sini was just like a princess, with a white crown on her head and a fitting white dress that was embedded with small diamonds. The dress was almost the same as the black dress that Qingye was wearing just now. As for Xiao Yi, he was just like the prince of the night. The two walked down the staircase, then met up with each other and faced the guests while holding hands. Brother Xiao is still so romantic. Tang Wushuang sighed. I have never seen you like this before. Quan Anrong pinched Tang Wushuang, causing Tang Wushuang to feel very helpless. In actuality, Qingye was also very envious of Yihua. I don't need a grand occasion, but it would be great if Yihua could dote on his wife half as much as Xiao Yi did. If Yihua knew what Qingye was thinking, he would definitely say, this is nothing, if you want, I can give you a grand occasion. And Qinya would definitely think that Yi Hua was bragging. Everyone, welcome to my banquet. Your arrival brings light to my humble abode. Mu Jie laughed lightly. Brother Shao is still so mischievous. Tang Wushuang touched onto his wife's waist and said teasingly, then, why did you choose me back then? Mu Jie glared at her husband. Didn't I get cooked by you in the end? Ahaha. Nangong Sini said, everyone, you have waited for a long time. Everyone, let's enter the banquet. If it was possible, Yi Hua wanted to leave right now. This place is simply too boring, not interesting at all. Yi Hua. Qinya pulled onto Yi Hua, who was sitting unmoving, seemingly trying to curry favor with him. Yi Hua snorted coldly. Didn't you not want to see me? Let's just go in and take a walk, then go home. Qinya begged, as if that place was a tiger's den, and as long as I go in, I will be devoured. Yi Hua said faintly, didn't you regret entering that house? Qinya was startled. I didn't expect that Yi Hua would be angry because of this. I didn't say that on purpose, didn't I say that because I was angered by you? Alright, my lord, I don't regret it. Qinya dragged Yi Hua up and didn't know whether to laugh or cry. Yi Hua extinguished the cigarette and walked into this tiger's den together with Qinya. However, to Yi Hua, this was just like a wolf entering a flock of sheep. Other than Tang Wushuang, the rest of the people were basically all merchants from Long and City. They naturally hoped to hug onto Shao Yi's thigh. Dragon God Corporation was a huge business machine. As long as they cooperated with Shao Yi, they would be able to make huge profits with a small capital. These people came relatively early, and they had the suspicion of hugging onto Shao Yi's thigh and currying favor with him. In actuality, Qinya also had the same thoughts. If not, she wouldn't have come so early and kept Yi Hua in the dark. If Yi Hua were to know that she came early just to wait for other people, he would definitely explode in anger. As a supreme overlord, I actually have to wait for other people. Luckily, Yi Hua didn't discover this point. If not, he would definitely teach this insensible woman a lesson. Rank 1 Clubhouse's number 1 room was the most luxurious banquet venue, and it was even decorated with nouveau riche gold, giving off a sense of grandeur. Yi Hua didn't really like it. Black color is still better, as it is filled with oppression and fear. Qinya held onto Yi Hua's arm with her left hand and held onto Star Cleansing Fan with her right hand as she stood at the side and observed. Next time, don't let me come to such a boring banquet. Yi Hua said gravely. I am still not suitable to attend a human's banquet. I am only suitable to kill at a human's banquet. Qinya said faintly, but other than calling you, I don't have any other choice. This woman is really annoying. When she goes crazy, she is like a wild cat, and the moment she wakes up in the morning, she is extremely docile. Whatever you want to do, hurry up and go back earlier. Yi Hua urged. Are you going back to play games? That is a very serious game. I forbid. Yi Hua laughed lightly. It is not up to you to decide. You're tuning into the Journey of the Soul YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.